Welcome back to Something to Talk About, the show where we don't just skim the surface, we dig into what people are really talking about and really experiencing. So today's topic is one that's hitting closer to home for a lot of people, and I mean that literally. More and more residents of Maryland are making the decision that would have seemed unthinkable just a decade ago. They are leaving Maryland, and many are saying they are not coming back. Now, this is not just anecdotal. It's backed by real numbers. So, according to the recent census and migration data that I was able to pull from several sources, Maryland has seen net domestic out-migration for several consecutive years. And so what that equates to is tens of thousands of residents are leaving annually for states like Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, and the Carolinas. And some years, the state has lost, are y'all ready for this? Over 30,000 residents domestically. And when you look at why, the reasons start stacking up real fast. So back in 2010, median home price in Maryland was around $250,000 to $270,000. Average rent, about $1,100 a month. Gas hovered about $2.70 a gallon. Fast forward to today, median home price pushing $400,000 plus. Average rent is often $1,800 to $2,200 a month. Groceries, utilities, insurance, all significantly higher. And Maryland consistently ranks among the top states for god-awful tax burdens. So what you're seeing is a squeeze. People are earning, but the earnings are not keeping up with the cost. And for many, the math just don't work anymore. So today, we are talking to someone who didn't just think about leaving, she actually did it. So today's guest is Kimberly, someone who made the decision to leave Maryland behind and start fresh somewhere else. She is here to give us the real story. What pushed her to leave? What life looks like now? Why she says she won't be coming back. Kimberly, thank you so much for joining the show today. We really appreciate you being here and sharing your experience.
Thank you.
Good.
Happy to be here.
Good. That's what I want to hear. Now, let's start here really quick. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. How long did you live in Maryland, and what originally brought you here?
I am born and raised in Maryland, Pikesville, actually.
Okay. County
And I
girl.
left, almost 10 years ago.
Okay. So you were born here, you left 10 years ago. At what point did you start seriously thinking about, hey, look, I got to get the heck out of here? Like, was there a specific moment that just happened, or was this some pressure that built over time?
It was a pressure to build over time. I was shooting for Atlanta originally for my business's television.
Okay.
And I worked at Channel 2, WMAR, for 9 years.
Okay.
With raises, but there's nowhere to go. There's no promotional.
Oh, wow.
You can't be promoted. You are stuck where you are. So if you want to move up or change careers, you have to leave. And that's what I did.
Oh, okay. Now, you just mentioned.
Keep in mind that most TV stations now are a hub. They're hubbed out.
Right.
So WBAL building, they're still in there, but they're hubbing.
Okay.
MOR Channel 2, also hubbing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
2013, I also think is hubbing, but that's a different network. But
okay.
The long story short is, if you don't move to a hub, you will probably be laid off soon.
And you're going to be finding a new career.
Yep, you're going to have to start all over again.
So you talked about... Right. And I get that. You're 21 all over again, but 21 is not 18. I get it. And so you talked about some of the bigger factors that pushed you to make that decision, but talk about cost, safety, opportunity. Like, I know you said that the opportunity was in Atlanta at that time, but the cost of living and the safety of Baltimore, did that play a role?
Yes, I have I have three girls, but I have two young ones. And I didn't like the school they were going to. Baltimore City schools are not the best place for your child. I stand on that.
So
public school is probably not the best place for your child.
now I'm a product of Baltimore City Public School. Okay. However, my mom made sure that I was in the best place for me. And being a musician and now an artist, I was in the artsy, sort of cultured neck of the woods. But for somebody that's not, I'm going to have to agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk cost of living. How did your expenses in Maryland? I heard the chuckle. How did your expenses in Maryland compare to where you are now?
It's night and day. You cannot, with a job where you can no longer move up and you're getting less than 3% raise every year, that's not cost of living.
That's cost of poverty.
And yeah. You either got to pay rent, pay your car note, car insurance, or eat.
So is it, you just said a mouthful. Is it safe for me to say housing was a major factor for you?
Absolutely.
And you're renting.
The cost.
I know that.
Mm-hmm.
So the rent compared to here, let's say you have a 2-bedroom, and we're not going to tell all your business, but let's say you have a 2-bedroom apartment, right? That same 2-bedroom apartment in Maryland.
Yeah.
So let's say you're paying $1,600 a month where you are. That's fictional, but it's relatively close in your neck of the woods. I'm sorry?
I'm nowhere near close. You were way over.
Okay. What would that apartment cost in Maryland?
Oh, in Maryland, it's going to cost you 18 to 22. The apartment that I'm in right now, here, where I am, is $1,295.
And I'm assuming that 18 to 22 is in the hood.
It's not in the best area. It's congested out there.
Well, I'm talking about in Baltimore. That 1,800 to 2,200 would be in the hood.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking Alameda over there.
Okay. And I'm going to leave that subject alone because I got a whole different show about housing and the rent being too high in Baltimore. But how did taxes play into your decision? Because from what I understand, you don't have state taxes.
We do not have state tax. It makes everything so much cheaper. Now, granted, things are still expensive, but my paycheck stretches further and I'm being paid less than it would in Maryland.
So this next question, I'm about to hang up on you, but I'm not going to do that because I got to finish the show. But the quality of life, you get to go to a beach anytime you want. That's the part I don't want you to talk about because I'm jealous. But listen. Oh boy.
Several water parks.
So I take it I can safely say that the quality of life is much better.
Oh yeah. When they say you are getting paid in sunshine all year round, I can swim in a pool all year round.
Yeah.
I can be on the water. I can be at a amusement park. I can do whatever I want, and it's affordable.
So let me say this. Let's jump on that affordability thing. Did you find better job opportunities or financial stability after leaving? Were they better there or were they better here?
They're better here.
And is it because of the amount or just simply the fact that they know how to take care of their people?
Because of the amount.
Okay.
It's definitely a lot of job opportunities here.
Okay. And what surprised you most after leaving Maryland? Like, what was the one thing that was like, should have done this Long time ago.
How happy I am?
Happiness is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
I
It is a
miss
wonderful thing.
certain things, but I mean, I do miss family and some friends, but overall peace of mind and
Right. That.
I can sit on my back porch all day long
Right.
in the sunshine,
Mm-hmm.
enjoying life.
I hear you.
I don't have to go anywhere.
So let me ask you this, and this kind of segues into my next question. Do you feel that Maryland is losing something important by having people like you leave the state?
Yes, because I'm a professional at what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that professionals are starting to lead because the snow, the cold, the uncomfortable, the cost, the headache. You don't have any of that here.
You preaching to the choir now. I hear you. I hear you. And you know, happiness, you talked about that. That is more important now than it ever has been. Because there's a saying in my industry, you know, here today, gone tomorrow. No, that ain't the case. You got young folk here today, gone 3 minutes from now. And if you don't enjoy your life while you have a quality of life, because retirement, I mean, it's wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. But there are things that I want to do that I want to be able to enjoy. I still want to run on the beach. I still want to get on a roller coaster. You know, I still want to be able to take a 7-day cruise and do the cha-cha slide if I want to. And it sounds like you're able to do that now in middle age.
I am.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And if somebody's on the fence right now, thinking about leaving, what is the one piece of advice that you would tell them?
Go with your happiness. Go with what makes you happy. It's so important for your peace of mind.
I hope y'all listening, because she's spitting pearls of wisdom. Because if you're not happy, nothing that you touch is going to turn to gold. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And the final question I got for you, because I don't want to hold you too long, but what would you have needed to change? And I'm almost scared to ask you this. I really am. But I'm just going to have to man up and ask, what would you have needed to change for you to stay in Maryland?
Oh, boy.
Now you understand why I was scared to ask?
That's a deep question. Man, truthfully, if my mother was still alive,
Miss B.
yeah, I wouldn't have been able to leave with her still alive. Or she would have come with me. She would have loved it here.
And that's the only thing that would have kept you here.
No.
Well,
I'm just trying to be nice.
I understand. I understand. I get it. And you know, sometimes the Lord does things and moves in ways because he understands the greater good and the greater goal far beyond what we can. And, you know, the question is, and I remember, Miss B, listen, I remember coming down to, you know, taking funerals into the First Apostolic Church. And I'm going to tell y'all something right now. The one memory I have of her, if you decided that you was going to have a funeral in there and you wasn't a tithe-paying member, oh, no, you wasn't coming in there. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. And let me tell you something. She wasn't playing. You wasn't going over top of her to talk to Bishop. Nobody.
No,
I made that
you were
mistake.
not.
Oh, I made that mistake one time. I was messing with it too. I said, Miss B, look, this is what I'm gonna do. I said, Sister Bridget, I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Bishop. And she turned her face and mouth up at me. No, you are, cause it stops right here. I said, oh, here we go. I laughed about that for about 2-3 days. So, Kimberly, listen, thank you again for coming on and sharing your story. These are real experiences that a lot of people are going through right now, and it's important to have honest conversation about it. So again, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. And that's what today's episode is all about. It's about the larger trend that raises bigger questions. And it's just what it is. What makes people stay, what pushes them out, and what happens when a state starts losing residents year after year. So whether you agree or disagree, one thing is clear. People are voting not with the ballot. They're voting with their feet. If you've enjoyed this episode, or if this topic hit home for you, I want to hear from you. Have you thought about leaving Maryland? Have you already left? Or are you staying no matter what? Drop a comment, share your story. Let's keep this conversation going. And don't forget, follow the show. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And share this episode with somebody that needs to hear it. Because these are conversations that matter. Until next time, this has been Something to Talk About.